You're in tune to the Powerhouse Radio, linking the world to the Caribbean. Disclaimer. The views and opinions expressed on the Powerhouse Radio station are those of the host, guests, and callers, and not necessarily those of this station, its management, or other hosts or advertisers. The show found on the Powerhouse Radio station can promote any lifestyle, belief, religion, political affiliation, or other personal practice. These shows are for entertainment purposes only and are not intended to treat, diagnose, and or claim any cure of disease or conditions. Opinions stated by various contributors to the Powerhouse Radio and its programming are not to be considered as endorsed by the Powerhouse Radio station. Visitors are urged to use their own discernment to draw their own conclusion. We emphasize the importance of keeping an open mind.
You listen to the sounds of DJ Fourth Quarter in your ear right now. If you're in your car, if you're at home, if you're on your phone, let's gripe, baby.
Driving home and you're feeling kinda tired. Radio play the same thing every day, so you need a little switch in your life. Traffic got you jammed up every night. Tune in to Powerhouse. Wednesday 7 to 9, you need to check them out. I promise I ain't trying to hype, but one good listen tonight, it might change your life. So what's the name of the show? You need something to just ride to on the go, or you might be home so log on. You can even dial in on your phone. I promise that you're gonna love it. Just try it one time, it'll blow your mind. Now I'ma say it just one more time. Every Wednesday from 7 to 9.
Let's gripe. Let's gripe. Let's gripe.
Good evening, everyone. It is Wednesday, April 3rd. April 3rd, yes. The third day of April, Aries season in the house.
Yes,
How's
ma'am.
everyone doing tonight? This is Tonia with Let's Gripe.
Good evening, everybody. This is Mckenna on this Wednesday. A little cooler today than it was yesterday, but nonetheless, we're glad to be here. What's going on? Hey, MG, what's up? What's up?
What up? We in this Aries season. I haven't figured out quite how I'm gonna celebrate this Aries season just yet. I might get out of the house a couple of times here and there. So y'all let me know where the party at.
I mean, we got you on that. We got you, get outside, get outside and have a sip and chew, as I like to say. Do a little sipping, do a little chewing, just a little sip and chew.
Well, you guys always know that Tonia, I'm always doing it big. Sometimes, some people be talking about I'm extra. I ain't extra. They just basic, you know what I'm saying? And so, of course, I got some little things and plan, and I'm gonna invite every one of our listeners. If you're in Georgia, come out next Saturday. I am going to be at Vibes Nightclub off of Glenwood Road in Decatur, where it's greater. And you come, you just give them my name at the door. You come on in. We got some table VIP style kind of thing. So yeah, that's what we're gonna do. So yeah, Mckenna and MG, that's where y'all gonna be at next Saturday. Well, Mckenna, her schedule, her roster, she got a roster. She don't even have a schedule. Her roster, it be full. So hopefully she could squeeze me in. But more details to come. But I mean, it's April, y'all.
It's April.
We almost at that half a year.
The second quarter has started. So just in case you live your year by quarters, the second quarter has started. So whatever those first quarter goals were, if they need to roll over to the second quarter has started with or without our permission. It's here. Apparently next week there's some kind of solar eclipse that people have been talking about, and they said we had one back in 2017, but I must have not paid it that much attention. So it's getting a little momentum this week. So those people, just be careful, protect your eyes if you're going to be outside looking at it, because it can cause some damage.
So Mckenna, can you please fill us in? I've heard some people talking about it earlier. What is it supposed to do? I mean,
it's really where the sun and the moon they kind of pass each other around the same time. So the sky's going to be, it's going to look intergalactic. So, and it's a big thing. Like, I know my dad, he lives in Illinois, and I guess in Illinois, people in that particular state are going to have a really good view. So he has some cousins coming from like Seattle or California or somewhere, just to participate in this event. So I really didn't pay much attention to it until maybe this week. It started popping up and people started really buzzing about it. So I'm excited for the people who are excited about it. If that's your thing, I'm excited for you. Get your glasses, camp out, spend that time watching this experience, and I will catch the highlights on the news. But I'm excited for the people who are excited. Like, this is your thing. I'm excited for people.
Good evening, Carolyn. Guys, please share, like, and subscribe. So Carolyn, go on and share that as well. We got some interesting topics tonight, but anyone have any gripe? Because my gripe is about this allergy season. I mean, I'm just over it already. I mean, I bought me like 30 tablets for like hundreds and thousands of dollars, and it's not working. So then I had to go and spend another hundreds of thousands of dollars and buy another product, which is working. But I'm just saying.
MG, she said she spent hundreds of thousands of dollars on her allergy medication. I mean,
I ain't pocket watching or nothing like that, but that's
me neither,
a lot of money to me,
Maybe she wants some of that money we talked about last week, and I need to give her $2. I need to go ahead and give her $2.
I'll let you know.
Nah, because y'all wouldn't have been at work this week. Y'all know if I did, y'all would not be at work this week. I would have had y'all covered. I mean, I'm just saying, but it feels like that because them little, and see now they only be giving prescriptions no more, y'all. They pretty much over the counter, right? So you go in there and pop a 30 count, be like some 50 and 60 bucks. So you ain't even got insurance giving paying a percentage no more. So it feels like hundreds and thousands. And
so they cut the insurance companies out?
Good grief.
They pretty much all of them is on the over the counter now.
Wow, they said they're not making enough money, huh? But that's crazy though.
I guess they said that they tired of paying for half of it because about 89% people got allergy in the country. They probably tired.
Yeah.
Let's just make it be like cough syrup.
Yeah.
Right. It's basically like, try this one and see if that works for you. If not, you move on to something else. There's about 4 or 5 different things out there. So try them for about 10, 12 days. If it doesn't work, try something else. You're really self-servicing, under the advisement of. Okay, so I have a gripe. So yesterday I got some news. So the house to my right has been empty for a minute. The most recent people that moved out, they moved out, and then some other people moved in for a day, and I think we talked about that. They were squatting, so they got evicted within 24 hours, and then somebody else moved in for 24 hours, and they got evicted because they didn't know they were squatting either. So that happened. So yesterday I saw the moving truck, so I immediately texted my neighbors and was like, yo, we have some activity over here. So they text security and they said, these people are legitimate. They actually can move in. So, we did our due diligence because we've seen this before. But I had some immediate concerns about my new neighbors. My first concern was the amount of noise, like it's quiet over here. And there were like 5 young people that were jumping out cars. And I was like, I hope it's not just the 5 young people that are moving in here. They blocked in my driveway and moved my garbage can out the way as they were pulling the U-Haul truck in next door. And I was like, okay, this is how we start. Like, we're just going to block the driveway, move the trash can. So I watched them unload this U-Haul and make all this rowdy noise. And so they finally finished what they were doing. They packed up and then went for a walk because it was nice yesterday. By the time I came back from the walk, my other neighbor, she called me. She said, we already had to have a conversation. I said, well, what happened? They're running back through backyards because our yards are open. And so she had to tell them immediately, this is not that kind of neighborhood where you can run through people's yards. Just because they're not any fences doesn't mean that these aren't this is our property. So, if you want to be outside, just stay on your side of the outside. So I said, this is what we have to do. Nip it in the bud, communicate first, so that there won't be any miscommunications in the future. So, yeah.
Are the people young, McKenna?
So what it looked like after reviewing the play, that it's just a mom and two young people, and the other 3 or 4 young boys that were there were just helping to unload and unpack. So they actually aren't going to be the residents. So from what we can gather right now, it's just the mom and the 2 teenagers. One is a girl and one is a boy, and they look about 17-ish, 17 to 19. You know, it's hard to tell. And the mom looks one too, yeah. So I'm like, well, maybe everybody's on spring break, so this was a good week to move. And so that's why they had, the help of the other young people. And so today I saw, and they're moving in stages, because today they moved in like appliances. I saw a washer and a dryer. Because yesterday we were like, well, they didn't move any furniture, so we don't know where they're going to sleep. But the one concern that I had, and this is going to sound however it sounds, was when they were unloading what looked like a china cabinet. I heard everybody say, grab the bug spray. And they started spraying the bottom of the china cabinet.
Not grab the bug spray.
Hold on. Mckenna, did you, when you heard that, did you decide to get your keys and go in the car and go to Home Depot and get the bug be gone so you can spray it on your perimeter?
What's hilarious is, I've had pest control since I moved, and I kept saying, why did I pay for pest control? It was like when you first moved in, they gave you all these different services, and I've just paid for it, and they come every month, but I don't need them. So this month I was like, it's been 10 years. I need to get rid of this pest control service, except I've changed my mind. I'm just going to leave it. That way I don't have any concerns. They can come spray what they do, and they just take their little $35 every month, and it's just a donation. I've been donating to them forever, but now I'm just going to keep the service, because we want to just maintain the environment over here the way that it is. No judgment to my neighbors, but
won't he do it? Won't he do it?
So that's my gripe. Thank y'all for listening. But
MG, what you got? What you got for us? What you got for us? Mute.
I said, I don't really have a gripe right now. We can probably turn it over to Carolyn. I can go ahead and read hers real fast if you want to go ahead and do that. She said her gripe is, we don't have a good choice in the presidential election. It's like you take the bad or the worst. And yeah, I think, man, like, back in 2008, I was real hype. I was into the presidential election, of course, because it was Obama. I was real hype. I wanted to go to election parties and do all this other stuff. And today it's kind of like somebody's gonna get elected.
So, I mean, you could do a write-in too, I think. The night, you could write in. I'm just, sometimes you would think, where Gore at? Can you come back and run this time? We'll vote for you. You know what I'm saying? I mean, I'm just saying. I think if Kanye West run, I think we'll vote for him.
No. We be in all kind of wars. No.
There probably be some good wars too.
Not
for real.
What you mean? Good wars.
It'd be some good wars. Like, no, we gonna take this oil for real. Y'all playing too much. Y'all playing too much Republican.
I wish Shell wanted to run. Shell. But Shell was like, I'm not running. I'm not. I did that already. But
to be honest, I think it would be good if Oprah would just say she gonna run. All Oprah had to say, I'm thinking about running. Yeah, even Oprah, yeah. Y'all against Oprah too, but I don't know who else could run. Carolyn, since you brought up this topic, who else you think, what other candidate you think you could get?
Oprah don't treat nobody right.
We know that she ain't gonna cause no war. We know that she not gonna
Why she won't?
Cause she ain't gonna
Well, how many
cause
people
no
she
war.
warring with right now?
She hugged her the other day on TV. I'm just saying.
Oh, everything good now.
I really think we need a different process. Like this process that we've had, I think it's run its course. There's too much money that's involved in politics and the elections, and it's about the money and who can fundraise and who can make the most money and have the most donations, and um, it's less about the people in the country and what the office can do to serve the people in the country. So I think if we're really going to talk about it, I feel like we need maybe like a 4-party structure, not just a 2-party structure, because we have left, 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 right, 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 middle, middle, and then these people over here. And I just think the whole system needs to be demolished and we just start over and come up with a different electoral election system that really at least has the opportunity to address what people really are concerned about. And we know that there are always like 3 different sides. So at least if we had 4 different parties, we'd have an opportunity to say, okay, these people over here are more aligned to the 4 things that I'm primarily interested in versus bad or worst or old and oldest. And that's the only option that we have. So, but we've really evolved into this ideal capitalistic society where it's really all driven by money. And I think that our senators and our congressmen should have term limits. You have people who have been in Congress their whole lives. And I think that they should have limits, that they should be able to serve maybe 3 consecutive terms, or maybe 4 consecutive terms, and then have to sit out and let somebody else come in, and then they be an advisor to the incumbent. They stay in an advisory role with no voting power, but in an advisory role because they have some experience and they have some knowledge. But yeah, I'm just idealistic in that way. But I really think it should be overhauled because it's not doing it's not serving the people the way that the people want to be served. And that's why you have so many people that are apathetic to the process and to voting. And that's why people are like, why should I vote? They're going to do what they want to do. Whether it's a Republican or Democrat, everybody's going to serve the interests of the people who donated to their campaign first and ensure that the Wall Street keeps Wall Streeting. And that if you're a billionaire, that you maintain your billionaire status. And if you're working poor, you maintain your working poor status. You get a 25% raise, not 25%, 25-cent raise or $1 raise. And you're like, yes, I got a $1 raise. But what can you do with it when gas went up and, everything else went up? So, I'm going to vote because that's my constitutional opportunity and right to express my preference over the choices that we have. But the gripe really is, I don't like the way it's set up anymore. It's not doing anything.
I think they're afraid of changes. They are afraid of changes when it comes to, we do need to pass the torch. Half of these senators and representatives, and they're 2 steps away from the nursing home. They just don't want to give up the seat. What's his name? What the one who like froze a few?
Mitch McConnell.
He decides that he is going to retire, but he's waiting until November. Dude retired yesterday. He's waiting until November. It's like, come on.
He's probably trying to see if he's gonna win one more time. That's what he's probably trying to do.
I mean, but listen, you standing up there, you talking, and you talking, and then you come back and you like, come on now, it's time to go. It's okay. You have served your term, good or bad, whatever. We okay with it. They are just so afraid of the new generation because a lot of them are very outspoken, and they're just afraid of change. They stayed there because they wanted to overturn the Roe versus Wade, the what is the college thing again?
Affirmative action.
Affirmative. There was so much things that they wanted to overturn. They pretty much did it.
Yeah, they did.
So at this point, go sit somewhere. Because I mean, by the time you really think about you about to go on vacation and retire and go to whatever with your family, they'll be pushing you in a wheelchair to do all these things. They don't know how to just let go and pass the torch. That's what I see with that. The new generation, they are very boisterous. They are very, I think they're in the mind frame of, okay, you're not going to do this? Yeah, well, we're going to go to war. I think the new generation go to war, but like, you know what? We're going to do a dance in war. We ain't even going to use no weapon. We're going to see which one got the TikTok moves or something like that. They just not ready for change. That's my personal opinion. But while we talking about politics, yeah, I know my boy, Victor Hill, he was released. Yes, early, good behavior, time to go home. They ain't want to do no more taxes, right?
Yeah, they just want to teach him a lesson. That's all.
So they let him out, came through he went through a little halfway thing.
Mm-hmm.
Why he starting trouble already?
Because that's what he do. They just want to teach him a little
to be quiet for a minute.
That's it. He can't only be him.
He comes out, so now he's making an accusation, and apparently I heard that the new sheriff of Clayton County is his godson.
Hey, that's how you supposed to do it.
But he turning on him. He already making an accusation that he is doing some stuff that he's not supposed to be doing. So then
he can't get that job back.
But he can't run again since he was convicted. So sit down somewhere. Just sit down, be a consultant somewhere. Let him put you on the book somewhere as a civilian. Something. But then the godson, Sheriff Allen, he turned around and was like, "Yeah, he called me from prison trying to influence me."
Oh, that old Victor Hill. He ain't gonna go down without a fight.
No. And as long as he has a microphone and an audience, he's going to have something to say if anybody's listening, because that's what he's used to. He's used to that public attention. He's had public attention for 2 sets of 10 years, 2 decades now. So that's what he's used to. He's used to having the attention of people in the community. And there are people like yourself who still admire him for your own reasons. And, are in his corner rooting for him to succeed. And we're not rooting for him to fail. Come out, rebrand yourself and do something different. There are plenty of things that you can do in your community to continue to be a public servant. You have experience on both sides of the cell, literally now. And so you have an opportunity to come out and share your experience, what you've learned, what you would do different. You have the opportunity to encourage people to get involved in this political process, at the ground roots level. Attend your local city commission meetings, attend your local school board meetings, find out what's going on in your community, participate in neighborhood watches. He has the opportunity to do things to get young people engaged in civic duty and civic responsibility versus walking down the street and dropping your trash on the street because you don't care about your community and you don't realize how that impacts your community when you pollute. So you could be a mentor. You could teach a class. Go into education. You could teach a couple of classes on all kinds of things. But when your ego is in the way and you're really only trying to feed your own ego, then you are missing the chance to really use your experience to uplift this community, because that's what you started with. And then you got caught up in your own self, you got caught up in what was happening in your mind and not paying attention to what was happening around you. And then it becomes about me and my power and how I can execute my power over you. And I'm Victor Hill. And then you get this complex. But anywho. So
and that's what I was saying,
Victor is Victor.
I was planning and willing to have contributed to the, his plane, when he got, went to prison and stopped. But he's losing me because my thing is, like you said, come home, reset, think about something that you can do. You have a close family in your seat. Support him. You can give him advice in certain things. You just took you just kind of beat the folks when you shouldn't. But you he did a good job otherwise. So help him do a good job. There was ideas that you had that you can throw to him and maybe he can implement that. You know, and I'm disappointed that he came out hollering. I've always said it. He's little, but he's arrogant. But I mean, you should still know how to conduct yourself and know how to reset. That's it. Just reset. But he's not doing that. So whatever happens again, you guys won't hear me be talking. Like, I won't be defending him again. Y'all know how to defend my peoples, but I won't, because I just he needed to be quiet.
I got one more. Can I read one more gripe? I really want to talk about this real quick. And this is from the real Miss Spencer. She had a gripe. We appreciate everybody for tuning in and writing and being part of the show. Miss Spence said her gripe is, why am I a B or aggressive? Because I'm passionate about whatever I do. I'm gonna ask something. I hope the real Miss Spence is still here and she's gonna comment on this. I don't know you, and I don't know, this. Of course, nobody should be called to be or anything like this. Sometimes when people say they're passionate, it comes off as being disrespectful or disregarding the other person. And the other person who is doing this internalizes it as being passionate. What I would say is, not that you should be called to be or aggressive or doing all those other things. Just evaluate if the things that you do and say could be done in a different way, that person who you're trying to communicate with can receive it better. Because people take things differently. And I hope she'll come back and kind of chime in a little bit, just because I've had this conversation with someone else who said they were passionate. And that's not necessarily my definition of passionate. You know what I mean? You're passionate about your religion or things of that nature, things you can talk about, your kids, something. You're passionate about all those things. You can be passionate about anything. But when you're trying to communicate effectively with someone else, even though you feel you're passionate, it's always a better way you can communicate with someone else. And that's why I just want to talk about it. Anybody else got anything to say about that?
Well, I do. I want to chime in real quick. So, yes, we're reading the chats from YouTube. So, to all our listeners, if you're computer savvy and you listen at YouTube, you can also go in real time chat and we'll be reading them at this time. So, good evening to everyone. Karen Davis says, I have to agree about them not letting go because they're afraid of change. She's referring to the Republicans or the Democrats who are old, the old folks. Garfield, my cousin, he says, hello, crew. Hey. We have, so back to real Miss Spencer. So I can relate to what she's saying because I've went through some of those things before. For example, I'm a person that if someone needs help, I will help them. And after a while, when I realize they always coming to me, and I realize this is a habit, or they're using me, trying to use me, taking advantage, or whatever, and then I have to take a stand and says, you know what, I'm not doing this anymore. So they might come and say, hey, can you loan me something, or can you give me a ride, or let me borrow your keys to your car? And it's like, no, then I'm a B. I've experienced that from ex-friends and even family members. The reason why you're considered that we're not supposed to say no. So when we say no, now we being a B. I've experienced certain things. People do things and hurt you intentionally. And then now, because I'm like, okay, so what's up? Like, I'm ready to go toe and toe with you. Now I'm the bad person because I'm ready, because I took off that I'm not gonna be the bigger person no more. Now I'm gonna be your level. So then that's when you come a B to someone, or you're just this, you're just the worst person there ever is, because they can't get to you anymore. They can't use or abuse you anymore. So then that's when you become the worst person there is.
I
Mckenna?
agree.
I was just going to kind of comment on MG's point of view. I think that sometimes when people are passionate about something, they forget about the other ways to communicate things and they get focused in their passion. And sometimes it can be dismissive of other people. Well, I don't have time for you right now. You see, I'm trying to build this business, and it comes across as bossy, aggressive, assertive, that you feel that you're better than somebody else. And we forget that no matter what we're doing, what we're passionate about, we still can present our communication in a way that is inclusive of other people, even those people that don't understand our passion or our drive. And so I think that because our energy is being channeled into something else, sometimes people who are passionate about things or trying to build something or trying to move in a different direction unintentionally distance themselves from people who aren't not trying to support them. They're just trying to find a lane in which they can support that person. But because you're either too busy or short or snappy with them, then that part of your passion comes across as dismissive, uninviting, unwelcoming, better than, you forgot where you came from, oh, you're too good now. And that might not be the intent. And then there are those people in our circle who they're not gonna move with us when we are seeking something different. They're just not gonna be able to move in that circle with us. And that happens sometimes.
Okay. You got some. I want to say something. I read Ms. Spence kind of clarified something, and the only reason I'm really talking about this is because I've kind of talked about this recently with someone. But she said, I'm known as very intimidating. I speak my mind and then I move forward. Do I communicate? Yes. I believe we agree to disagree. And I don't know specifically what you're saying, Ms. Spence, but one of the things that I've been doing lately, because I thought I was a really good communicator, and found out that I wasn't I wasn't communicating like I was supposed to. You know what I mean? And one of the things that that tends to happen is that you still have to communicate with people on a level that they can understand. Because if your goal is to communicate with people, then you have to do that. Now, it depends on your purpose. If you're at a job and you want somebody to follow you, something that's different. But if you're trying to communicate with people to be helpful or get them to understand something that's going on, whether it's family, friends, relationship, or whatever else, if you're trying to get your point across, then you have to communicate with them in a way they can understand. Because when you're talking about passion, sometimes it can come off as raising your voice level up. And from a man, once a woman raises her voice level up, it's a little. I'm just gonna be honest with you. It's a little bit different. But just in general, like I said before, I definitely have issues and trouble with being able to figure out exactly how to communicate with another person. And you have to get to know that person in order to be able to communicate with that person. But again, sometimes, and we're gonna talk about people who like to tell people. I don't know that this is what you're saying, but sometimes people who are truth tellers. One of the things I would advise people to do is think for a second what your goal is for telling the truth. Is your goal to be helpful or to help your conscience? Because if it's to help your conscience, it does nothing for the other person. If your truth telling is to help someone else, then cool. But like I said before, again, people receive information. Even the truth is hard sometimes, but it depends on the way you talk to them and the way you tell it to them, how they absorb it, how they digest the information. So that's all I'm saying. It's just, I know we're gonna be us and talk how we want to talk, but if you can, just take a little second and say, hey, look, such and such doesn't receive it very well when I talk to them like this. So let me go ahead and bring that on back real fast. Let me channel it in real fast. Let me go ahead and talk to them like this because ultimately I want to get such and such done. Now, other people over here might be like, all right, that's cool. I understand. I get you. But just You're going to move differently with different people. That's all I'm saying as far as communication goes.
And that's a good reminder, MG, about what's the goal of the communication. Is the goal for me to just tell you what I think? Or is the goal for us to actually have some dialogue so you can understand what I think, the way I think it, and why I think it this way, and then give you an opportunity to respond, agree or disagree, or even just to have that space to say, let me think about it as well and come back to you with a response. I think that as we live in our truth and, we want to be heard, sometimes we forget that communication is an exchange between two people. And if I value you as my peer, my colleague, my friend, my child, my partner, then the purpose of the communication is for you to understand me and my view on whatever that situation is. And it's important to me that you understand what I'm saying, why I'm saying it, how I say it, in a way that you can receive the message as well. And we don't have to agree. It's not always about agreeing. Sometimes it's just about, okay, Mckenna, I understand how you saw it this way and why you feel the way you feel because of your past experience or because of what you're trying to do. But I think that sometimes, you're right, we're not goal oriented in our communication. It's, I said what I said, and we move on. And we leave, and when we move on from that, we leave that other person in a place where they didn't get a chance to be heard as well. And that's what creates that space, or that's what creates that attitude of where you're just the bee or you're just this person, because the other person didn't get that same opportunity to think about what you said, respond, and feel that you value their opinion or their response as well. Because we've been taught on TV how to communicate. People yell and shout. They walk out the room, slam the door. They want to have the last word, but is anybody really being heard? Is the goal of the communication to get to know you a little bit better? Like, okay, I might not agree, but I might go along. I might not understand your directions, but I might just follow them. Are we going to get to the same place if I turn left and then go down a half a block and turn right versus jumping on the interstate? Yes. Okay, well, I'll do it your way this time. It's okay. It's not a crisis. I don't have to be right all the time. So I think even though we say communicate, it's still such an art to it, and it's such a skill set that we really have to practice and develop constantly. Because people really, like, even the three of us, we spent this time together every week for a long time, but we all think differently. We respect each other's opinions. Every time you speak, MJ, I learn something about just the way you present things. Same thing with Tonia. And that's the purpose of communication. But I think there's not necessarily a class on that. You have to develop that skill set somewhere. And if you don't have a good model of it, then it's hard to appreciate yielding to somebody else's point of view and not having to feel victorious because you were right and you won the argument because you were the loudest, in that moment.
Well, to piggyback on that as well, Mckenna, it's the same thing. We, like you said, the most important thing is that we can agree to disagree. And it should be respectively. What I've learned lately is that I've been using a different technique now. If I'm having a conversation with someone and they took it totally wrong, I've been noticing, I've been saying it lately. I would say just, I'm not sure where the miscommunication came in at. But this is what I was saying. I don't know when it came about, but I was like, okay, because for some reason, you heard nothing I said. And it works because now it's like, okay, well, repeat that. Well, say it again because maybe I did. And I have to repeat it again because I'm like, because the areas that I am, two things I'm going to do. I'm either going to get louder or I'm just going to shut up. There was no in between. So now my in between is now, I'm not sure where the miscommunication came in. But this is what I was intending to say. this is what I said or what I was trying to say. Then it makes the conversation opens up and the person is willing to communicate. MG, before you go ahead, you can get those other comments right underneath. Karen, start with Karen.
All right. So Karen said someone else in the same tone, same words, and they hear something completely different. And I'm gonna shoot back down to Miss Real, the real Miss Spence, because she pretty much said the same thing. And it's very true that, you know, it really just depends on how you deliver the information to people, how they take it. I always tell people, especially when you're in relationships, it's hard to do sometimes, especially when you're angry, you're upset. Um, if you want to see something different, you may have to speak to people with love, even though you are angry and upset. And if you feel like at the time that you can't speak to people with love, just take time not to talk about it for a second. Get somewhere, whatever you need to do to think about it, but get in a space where you can talk to people about it, because we're in this, I don't know, it just I don't know what's going on the past, 2-3 weeks or a month or two, but this whole communication thing, I'm learning a whole lot. And I'm gonna come on here and share from time to time, as you see me doing now, what I'm learning, because I was much like you, Tonia. I am, sometimes, hey, look, either we gonna take it there or I'm just gonna shut it down. And honestly, probably, if you're, depending on who you're communicating with, if it's somebody in a relationship, more than likely those two things are not healthy for the relationship, for a long-term relationship, for the long term. And so I've had to condition myself in my mind to kind of just take a breather, to be like, all right, take a second, let me come back, and let's see. Let's just talk about it real fast and see if we can get on the same page. Either we're gonna disagree on the same page, or we're gonna get on the same page. You know what I mean? In that way. But I just think, communication is very key, and I'm learning a lot and trying to implement it and practice it just about on a daily basis. It's a lot more apologies coming out from me now. You know what I mean? Just because I just be, sometimes you do things to people, not necessarily, with intent or malice or anything like that, but you do things to people that probably, probably isn't the best. And so, you got, hey, look, that wasn't my intent. I apologize for putting you in that position, or blah, 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 and that's just some of the things I'm learning, just to kind of be a little bit more control with myself emotionally, so I can be able to communicate more effectively to people.
I like what you said about I'm learning to apologize a little bit more, because it's not necessarily how we were raised. Our parents said what they said, and you either took it or you didn't. And so we didn't learn to go back and apologize. We didn't get necessarily, we might have gotten it occasionally, but that wasn't like the overall message that we received, that you actually go back to the person. I'm sorry that I yelled at you. I was just a little frustrated at the moment. We see it on TV, in these sitcoms, and they teach us on some of these sitcoms about, conflict resolution, and they come back and they laugh it off and they hug it out. And so we got to see it in that era. And now we're in this area of gentle parenting, and, kids really have the opportunity to express through their choices, what they want to eat or what they want to do, what their activities are. And I think that, how we were raised impacts our initial communication style. And then as we grow and mature and develop and communicate in different settings, whether it's at work or church or in our different relationships, there comes a point in our maturity when we ask ourselves, okay, is it working? Is my style of communicating working? And is it really getting the desired output that I want? Or is it pushing people away from me? And that shutting down, we've all done that. I'm a Taurus. So I know y'all are Aries, but I'm a Taurus and I'm right most of the time. It's just part of and I don't argue. I'm very passive, and I'm not going to argue. I'm going to wait and I'm strategic. So I'm going to wait for my opportunity and then say what I have to say. And then I've already said what I had to say. It happened already. It's in the past because I was already right. And if you had listened to me in the beginning, So I just share that to say our personalities are shaped by, a lot of things, including our zodiac sign, if you believe in zodiac signs. And so there are times when you have to go back and think, yeah, I could have said that different, or I could have said it quieter. I could have used my inside voice, or I could have touched the person on the shoulder to let them know, hey, let me get your attention in the moment. Because sometimes we talk at people and we don't have their full attention, so they only get that the last part and they miss the first part. So now maybe if I touch you on the shoulder, that gives you a moment to focus, and then I present the information to you. So we could spend a whole couple of chapter series, talking about, communication and styles, the styles of communication. Is it effective, and how do you measure it? And then, sometimes you say things like, okay, Tonia, well, tell me what you heard. What did you hear me say? And you go back and you do that reflective. Well, what did you hear me say? Okay. All right. So that's what you heard. So let me try it again, because that's not that's not the message that I was trying to send. So I'm glad you let me know what you heard, because now I need to go back and explain it in a different way, because I thought, like MG said, I thought I was a good communicator. But then when I asked Tonia, well, what did you hear? And she said something completely different than what I intended. Now I have to go back and say, well, okay, let's start over. Blah, 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 blah. And that takes time, and it takes a lot of work, and it takes a lot of energy. And we really don't always want to invest that amount of time, space, and energy to go back and say, well, Tonia, what did you hear me say? We want her to get it right away. And now I'm frustrated because I said it. What didn't you get about what I said? So I agree to your point, MG. It's something that, I appreciate you sharing that you're growing in this area. And I think that we all can continue to grow, in this area. And there will be times that we get it right. 1, 2, 3, it's said, everybody gets it, we move on. We might have even disagreed, but we get it. Okay, that's how you see it, so that's how you see it. Okay, and we move on. And there'll be times then we're stuck, like, no, And then the last part is people really think different. Like, even between men and women, like you have a conversation with your man or somebody in your family, and you lean forward, like, how did you get that from this?
Man brain is different. Go ahead.
Like, I talked to my brother today, and I was like, we're on the phone. I was like, how did he's an Aries, by the way. He's April 17th.
Okay.
And listen, let me tell you about that conversation with Mckenna and her brother. Us Aries and Taurus, because Taurus think they always right. And us Aries, we got that horn too. No, you ain't. And it will be a fight all day, all night. So as Mckenna said, when it comes to that zodiac sign, some people don't follow it. Some people, I follow it. And it's the truth. Because my past relationship, it was a Taurus and I'm the Aries. And Mckenna said something that kind of hit me. Because see, at this point when he knew it was on and popping, because you done said something that what was not never said, then he gonna touch that shoulder. I said, wait a minute, is that a Taurus thing? And I get your hands off of me. What? So when Mckenna said that was a trigger. I have to go call my therapist tomorrow. I'm just saying. But it's one of those things. So it is definitely something to do with your personality. And sometimes you have to bring it down some. I've learned that I had to. Some people can't handle this Aries thing because they get mad. You know what? Forget it. Then you had the other one like the Taurus over there. All right, let's try to figure this out. With the, and then you be like, if I smack their hands off that shoulder one more time, but it's what you gotta. Sometimes you gotta follow the mood too. Sometimes you have to take it down to where it's like Mckenna say, break it down, and then sometimes people do gotta put them in a chokehold like this, like you know what I'm saying. So it all depends, but at the end of the day, when it's something that you're passionate with and you know that you're passionate to it, it don't matter what nobody say. It don't. It just don't. And if it's something that that is gonna make you a better person, something that is gonna make you money, anything like that, sometimes you just have to walk away. And that's why when you see how they say millionaires don't stay where they came from, because sometimes you can't, because people not gonna understand your passion and your goal to whatever it is. So that's my take on that. That you always stay. You at the end of the day, with being able to disagree and agree, is knowing your truth and staying in it and doing what makes you happy. And if it's something that you, because sometimes we can't get through to everyone. You know, we can't, even though we want someone to see what I want you to see what I'm saying. I want you to understand how I feel. I want you to understand how I took this. Sometimes they're not. So it's just to be okay with, okay, this conversation is not going anywhere. There's no solution with this. Let's move on. Let's move on.
Hold up, real fast, Tonya. We're gonna talk about this real fast because we got gang in the comments right now. Aries, we deep
Go
off
on,
of this.
Aries. Go on, read it. Go on.
I see y'all deep in there. I see y'all deep.
Deep. So you might be a good time. Go ahead and give them birthday shout outs, Tonya.
Okay, so we got Marie James. That's my girl from Jersey. Thank you for tuning in. Her birthday was last week. I don't remember the exact date. Liz, go ahead and type it in the chat. We got real Miss Spencer. Her birthday was also, I think it was either the 27th or the 28th. Y'all, please don't charge it to me. The only birthday that I really remember is mine. I'm just saying. We got Carolyn, my sister. Her birthday is on Saturday, April the 6th. We have Nakaya. She celebrated her birthday on the 29th. We had MG. His is on the 24th. Who else we got? We got my goddaughter, Skylar. Her birthday is on April 10th. I predicted that she was born on April 10th. We got my cousin, Andrew G's son, Micah. His birthday is today, April 3rd. Happy birthday, Micah. And my other cousin, Isaiah, his birthday is also today. So even my sister that I don't talk to no more, her birthday is April 6th as well. So happy birthday to you, sister. I don't know you ain't gonna call you for your birthday, but happy birthday anyway. Gang. I'm just saying.
Gang in the building.
She said what she said.
Liz,
she said what she said.
I'm just saying that's how we Aries do it. So again, yes, Aries is deep. We love hard. We love hard, and we forgive, we don't forget. But at the end of the day, we are very passionate about everything. We're passionate about our family, our friends, our food. We're passionate pretty much about everything. Until the food don't taste good, we don't want it no more. That man or that woman ain't right no more. We don't want y'all no more. I mean, I'm just saying. But you know what? Next Wednesday is my birthday. So I need y'all in the comments. Do I need to come on the show? Do we need to do the show next Wednesday? I think I should, because here's the thing. And who don't know, let me tell y'all now, honey, I'm no longer in that relationship that I was in for almost 50 years. So I've been running and dodging. And I have two friends said to me that, because I said, I'm just going to let folks know that I'm dating with a purpose. And I'm just going to let them know, dating with a purpose, that I'm going to get married. So I have two friends that are saying that I'm going to run them off and not get to know them. So I'm going to need y'all help me, because I don't know how, I can't fake. I don't have 50 more years to waste.
Yeah, we need to talk. We need an hour to talk about that.
Yeah, we need to talk about that. Next Wednesday, because if they telling me. So Marie said the other party is aware and not talking is personal or becoming defensive. So that's regarding the conversation we were having. Carolyn said, I'm on an apology tour. I start with my children. Carolyn, you ain't apologized to me yet. You were supposed to call me back. You ain't called me. So where your apology at? Go on and put it in the chat. She said they really appreciate it. I told them that I noticed that I was holding them to a standard that I was not holding myself to. Let's see. Real Spencer said, I'll move forward when the other party is upset because it do not agree with me. Okay, with them, excuse me. Let me see. Where we at? So yes, Liz, March 26th. Okay, so we got Real Miss Spence March 29th. Let me see who else we got. Nakaya said, yes, you still got to do the show. Okay, so Nakaya is faithful, and when I'm not here, yes, my favorite. I got to be careful. One of my favorite cousins, Marlene, her birthday is tomorrow. Thank you, Garfield. I got to text her at midnight. I love her. I love her. So, yes, it's a lot of Aries. And I have my cousin Shane. His birthday is, I think it's the 12th or the 17th. Then we got Pablo. It's a lot of us Aries in the family. But see, everybody, they get lost because of me. Because I'm always doing something. So, yeah, Carolyn said I gotta do this. You still ain't apologized, Carolyn. Tell me, yes, I gotta do the show. I'm still waiting on your apology. But I mean, yes.
So let's do a reminder because I like what she said, this apology tour. So somebody remember that because I think that's a good conversation to have about doing an apology tour, like going back and making amends. That's very mature, that's very progressive, and I really like that. And that's very healing because sometimes there are people that really need that apology and we don't even realize it. And that can really heal some wounds from the past. So let's do a little reminder to talk about what an apology tour looks like. And if we have the opportunity to go backwards and apologize to maybe people or situations from the past, who would we apologize to? And if we have the opportunity to receive an apology from somebody, who would we want to get that apology from? So that's real powerful. So Tony, make a note of that because we have to revisit that too.
Yes, the apology tour. Yes, we can do that. We can definitely do that. We're gonna do that Wednesday. I'm gonna be here now. If we're not here, that means that I probably started the party too early and I couldn't make the show. But I'm gonna do my best to be here. And guess what? We're gonna come back next week and we're gonna have our little glass. We're gonna have a little. We're gonna do a toast for my birthday and all the Aries because Aries and all signs, everyone is special. But of course, you know, we just special. That's how it is. I feel good because like we cannot capital C do this show without our listeners, and you guys are so in tune with our chat and talking to us, and we could talk back, so it even makes the conversation broader and we can actually talk about what you guys want to. So listen, I mean, just keep doing it. Just keep sharing our when we go live and tapping that share, the like button and subscribing. Because we're only gonna get better. That's all we're gonna do is get better because of you. And we love doing it. And you know, sometimes I'm like, I'm not doing nothing on my birthday but me. You guys say come, I'm gonna come, and I'm gonna come with my drink right beside me, maybe have a cupcake. But at the end of the day, we cannot do this without you guys. If y'all didn't listen, we be talking to ourselves. I mean, I'm just saying. So Carolyn said the day is not over. See what I have to go through with Carolyn? That's what I have to go through with Carolyn. And then she always want to remind me she older than me. So what? I mean, that's how it is. But you know what? Like Mckenna said, Carolyn, we are going to, and we're not just going to do it for next week. We're going to continue out for the rest of the year. This apology tour. I think I might have to do one or two apologies. I might do it eventually. I may. And when I do, I'm woman enough. I'll let you guys know.
Okay.
Carolyn, I apologize for the time that we were supposed to meet and I didn't come and you was at the club waiting for me. Ooh. I'm sorry.
Oh, you did a no call, no show, huh?
I forgot. And she texted me. She was like, she was at the club. I felt so bad. You know what Marie gonna talk about before April 6th. Marie, there it is. I know what she's talking about. She's talking about my sister. Why you had to go there, Liz? Okay. That's for another show, Liz. But I love you. Yeah. I'm gonna think about it. I know she changed her number. She didn't. She blocked me, so I can't apologize. I probably sent it through my mama. She owe me one too. I'm just saying.
Hold on.
Here she go. You put it out there. That's what I love. I love us Aries. I love us because that's what we do. At the same time, we can make things, sad things. We can make sad things. You can put a smile on your face. So, yeah. You know how siblings are. Siblings, we're something else. So, my mom has 4 girls, and we bump heads all the time. But let somebody go on and mess with one of us. we might have not seen or talked to each other for 20 years, and they run into us and hear somebody busting one of our head down the street, and it's on and popping. It shouldn't have to take that for people to really do the right thing. But yes, apology tour 2024, and I'm it's gonna start with me. But Mckenna and MG, you guys too accountable, and all of our listeners, you guys are also accountable as well for this apology tour. Carolyn said, I called you, didn't answer. LOL. I just called since you have been on the show. She's talking about the show. All right. So she wanted to let everyone know that she's doing a 5K walk Saturday for her birthday. So to come join her. I told her I will not 5K. She said she's not gonna run, but she's gonna walk 5K.
We have enjoyed y'all tonight. We have really enjoyed everybody. We really appreciate you tuning in and sharing in the comments. It's been a lot of fun tonight, and this is why we, love coming on Let's Gripe. And so we have a lot of takeaways from today's conversation, and we look forward to the continued fellowship and the continued vision of Let's Gripe as we continue to connect to each of you and just share a little positivity and some tidbits for life along the way.
And with that, I want to say, first of all, of course, picking back off what Mckenna said, but I really, really appreciate these conversations from our listeners. I want you guys to do even more, if that's asking a lot, because I really enjoy it. Really give us an opportunity to know that people are actually listening and actually enjoying the conversations that we do have. So I just want to say thank you to all the listeners, all the people that are in the comments, to our regulars that always, say something. I just want to say I really appreciate y'all.
Piggyback on that. Thank you guys so much again. We couldn't do this without you. It's full of love. And one thing about me, I am a person that I can love always. Even if I'm upset with somebody, I still have love. And that's what my heart is full of. So if you don't do anything, is always remember, walk with love. Love conquers all, no matter what. And that note, we're just saying, you guys have a safe weekend. Be safe, have fun. And till next Wednesday. And don't forget, Reasoning Thursday tomorrow. That would be 8 to 10. And then we have the Lady D show on Saturday, 12 to 4. And then we're back next Wednesday, 7 to 8 at thepowerhouseradio.com. Again, everyone, thank you so much for tuning in. Till next time, this is Tonia. Say peace out.
Mckenna saying good night, everybody.
This is MG. Y'all have a blessed one.
The studio is kind of delayed, so that we'll be logging off in a moment. So have a good night, everyone.